The first day of spring has never been this early in 149 years. What I'd like to do tonight is, not only is today the first day of spring, but it's also Mars is going into Aquarius in a few days. And also we have today the Sun at 11:49 tonight is going into Aries. So we're going to have a big energy change, because the really big thing that's happening is for the first time in 3 years, Saturn leaves Capricorn. So all that dense energy that we've been feeling, now Saturn's moving into Aquarius, and we're going to feel much more airy and light. It's going to be an energy of connection, an energy of innovation, new. I don't know if some of you felt like you were cleaning out things and cleaning out closets and restructuring your homes today. It was probably the first day of spring, and also because of this beautiful energy now that's going to be going into Aquarius. And of course, the first day of spring, when the Sun goes into Aries, always lights our fire. We seem to have a lot of renewed energy, and I know that can be a problem if you're homebound right now, so make sure you get out in nature and really walk. The world energy. Let's see what's going to happen with us with these cards. A couple more. This is for the world energy. Spirit, please show us what's in store for us and what our lessons are during these next several weeks. Okay. Okay, the world is out of balance. Like we didn't know that, Spirit. Okay. So, what I'm seeing here is, first of all, that we caused this. Okay, might get a little heavy on you guys today, but we caused this. So man caused this to happen. And I feel like that's true. Everything I've been reading is that, whatever experiments or whatever they were doing, there's a scientist, I think was the first case of this, or an ophthalmologist doctor in China. That's what it was, an ophthalmologist. So this was definitely man-made, basically just caused by our own carelessness and our own ability not to honor Gaia and honor the earth. That's what I feel I'm seeing. I also feel like it was it's going to be instrumental in us changing and elevating as a species. The idea of us being cloistered and sequestered is actually for our own benefit. It may not be comfortable, but it's to teach us to sit in the discomfort. So I have this Ten of Swords, and for me, in my tarot, the Ten of Swords is a card of self-imprisonment. And that's what leads me to feel like man is partly responsible for this virus. It's something that Spirit wanted man to experience this. So I had said in one of my videos the other day, ask yourself, why was I chosen to be born? I'm not even going to watch this anymore because it's just totally distracting me, and I'm really got to get into this reading because it's important. Okay. Whatever the camera angle is, it is. Okay. So I got the Ten of Swords here. This leads me to believe this is a card of self-imprisonment for me. Many readers see this as a very fatalistic card, but I don't. I see this as a card of that we have control over our own imprisonment and our own freedom. Then I have this card of balance, which is upside down, which means that we still have not achieved balance. So I think part of the reason why these series of events is happening is to give man more balance in the end. Yes, we're going to be uncomfortable. We're going to have anxiety. We're going to be in a state of fear. But it's our job to get through that. And that's why this is happening. Then I have this beautiful card, the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups, in my mind, is beautiful relationship. It's like the best card in the deck for connection, for relationship. And it's really interesting to me that as Saturn goes into Aquarius on March 20th and stays there for 3 years, it'll pop back into Capricorn from July to December and then back into Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius is lighter energy, it's innovation, it's connection. Aquarius is an air sign, it's connection. So what's going to happen when Saturn goes into Aquarius? Everything's going to change and we're going to want connection. So now what's happened in the outside world? We've been confined to our homes. So what does that tell me? That we're supposed to connect with ourselves. So if the better our connection here with ourself, and we can connect heart and brain, then the better our relationships are going to be when we're able to go out and really start to connect with each other again. Aquarius energy also, that Saturn in Aquarius energy, Mars going into Aquarius energy, speaks to me of exactly what this card is saying as far as connection goes, is that we may not be connecting in groups, right? The groups, the Three of Cups is indicative of groups. We may not be physically connecting that way, but we're going to find new ways to connect. We're going to find new ways to communicate, like we're doing this evening, like the universities and the schools are doing now, teaching children via online. So that speaks to me of this is supposed to happen in order to have a new world order, a new change of events. And if you're a follower of mine, you know I've been talking about that for the last year and a half, that there will be a new world order in this decade, and this is really the beginning of it. And I wouldn't fear that, because from where I'm sitting, the old world order, while it's had its perks, really wasn't the best we could do. So I think we're going to emerge from this pandemic, this global crisis, doing better than we've ever done before. And then this card for me is the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is abundance, and it's actually in the spread right above, if you can see, it's actually in the spread right above the Ten of Swords. So we have two 10 cards. That is, number one is usually the start of something. Very indicative for me of the fact that today now the sun moves into Aries, which is why we have the spring equinox. That's all starting energy. It's fresh energy. When the sun goes into Aries, it's actually the beginning of the astrological new year. It's the 0 point of Aries is the 0 point of creation. And the other thing I wanted to tell you before is that between now and the end of the month is the most heightened time for creation that we've had in years. So if you can create in any way, use this time when you're sequestered or under self-quarantine, use this time to create, you are going to come away with some amazing things. The only thing is, don't try to do it too fast. Do it authentically from whatever your creation is, because at the end of the month, the energy changes and you could hit a wall. Okay? So use these next few days for, definitely for creation. So I've got two 10 of Pentacles and a 10 of Swords right on top of each other. That tells me that we have control over the way that this ends up, what the outcome of this pandemic is, what the outcome of this new world order is, and it all begins with us. Because now I've got the Three of Pentacles, and if you look at this, it's like elders in the churchyard. It's like a discussion, a community. This, again, is indicative of the connection of Aquarius. It's indicative of the fact that this is happening so that we can connect with ourselves. We have to connect with ourselves. We have become a society where connection and being and sitting with ourselves is avoided, and we go into distraction, and we'll do anything. We'd rather die 10,000 painful deaths than be with ourselves. And because of that, we have become a society of indulgence and comfort. And life is not a comfortable thing. We're supposed to go into a little bit of our discomfort and sit with ourselves so that we become emerging as a better human, better connection, better society. And this is the Page of Cups upside down. The Page of Cups is a message, communication. The fact that he's upside down means to me that we haven't heard it yet. We're not hearing, we're not getting it. We're still in the fear. You know, as on a global scale, everyone's still in a little bit of panic. How am I going to get through these next few weeks? What am I going to do? What if, what if, what if? Well, if you're safe and warm and dry and have food in your fridge, the what if isn't there yet. So in order to receive the message of what this experience is for you, why were you born at exactly this time, then you need to sit with yourself and you need to stop worrying and go into fear, because you need a clear mind, open heart, and just sit with yourself and just be. You know, think of everything you do as a meditation. If you're bored, you know, think of everything you do as a connection to God, as a connection to spirit, angels, whatever you believe in. If you're going to bake bread and you're kneading it, think of that as a meditation. If you're walking in the park, think of that as a meditation. If you're having a cup of coffee on your deck listening to the birds, think of that as a meditation. What is a meditation? It's a connection with spirit. It's a connection with creator energy. And that's what we're supposed to be doing right now. Because the more we do that, the more we raise our vibration, then the vibration of the world raises, and there won't be a pandemic. That's our responsibility in this. So then right next to that, I have this beautiful card. I say it's beautiful because it's upside down, where you can see for yourself sleepless nights, right? So it's upside down, which means it's going to pass. It's not really a prominent card in the spread. And now I'm going to pick 3 cards for outcome. Okay. Alrighty. So the first card that I picked was the Lovers. And usually the Lovers is also very indicative of our Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is the harbinger of clear messages. You've heard me talk about that a lot. So the fact that that card came up when I asked for the outcome exactly confirms for me that we are all supposed to be spending time with ourselves, listening to the message. We're just not getting it yet. And this is going to go on the longer it takes for us to get it. So when I look at this beautiful card of the Lovers, a lot of times when this comes out in traditional tarot read and someone sees this, they'll think, oh wow, it's a relationship or whatever. But actually this card is a card of interference. If you look here, it's beautiful Archangel Gabriel is standing above these 2 lovers. And in the card, what the meaning of that really is that he's trying to give them a message. It's a card of the lovers are standing on each side of a mountain. That's traditionally the idea of a distraction, something coming between them. So they have something that is making them apart, keeping them apart, a blockage. To me, this symbolizes us and spirit. As I just described the society and the way that we have become, we have a disconnect with spirit. There's many times when someone enters the convent or becomes a nun or even a monk where they pledge their love to God. It's almost like a marriage ceremony if you've ever been to something like that where someone is being ordained or brought into a vocation. And to me, this is really symbolic of that. And the thing that is the distraction, the thing that is coming between us and God is the way we live. All these distractions. I know Governor Cuomo said that the most calls he got was because he closed the bars. That's kind of sad. But I don't judge. And then this card is the card of competition. Usually when I see this card in a reading, it means we have one more battle to go before we really become totally healed or reconciled with someone. And I feel like the camera just went dark. And in this reading, I would think that just means and it is indicative of us really going through some challenging time in order to get to the reward of that. And then we have the Hangman. The Hangman is usually a card for me of balance. It's symbolic of the zodiac sign Libra. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time talking tonight because I'm looking at all this stuff, and I said I wasn't gonna. Just breathe, Georgia. See, I'm human. Exhale. Got to make my exhale longer than my inhale, and it'll completely calm me down. So this card, the Hangman, usually is Libran energy for me, which is balance. But this is also really appropriate for tonight because Libran's challenge in the world, I'm a Libra, and I've studied Libran energy a lot, and Libran's challenges in the world is that we always want everything to be balanced, and we don't want any conflict, and we're very diplomatic, and we always try and smooth everything over. And we have a tendency to spend our whole life doing that because we're looking for balance. But the problem with Librans is that they look for all of that outside. They'll try and be the peacekeeper in the family or in the relationship or the diplomat at work so that everyone gets along. And they don't realize that the balance they're really looking for, the balance they really crave is within themselves, and that's where they should be working. Because once you have that, everything else falls into place. And if it doesn't, you're not so disturbed because you have your own balance. So the fact that that was the last card of the outcome is exactly what this is all about. It's not about a virus. This is about us learning balance and how to sit with ourselves and be in ourselves and just be and whatever our issues are, whatever I always call the cracks in the driveway that we have to fill. And that's really the message. And now I'm going to pick a couple of cards because I know human nature, you're all going to want to know about the virus. And I don't even like to say the word. I don't even want to bring anything in my energy field because for me, this is a very contemplative and introspective time where I'm trying to build my compassion for myself, for things in my past, for things in my future, and for the world. And so every day I've been going into meditation, and I've been journaling a lot, I've been writing, doing so many things, meditating, yoga every day, and using that in order to raise my compassion level so that when I do finally get to go back outside and see people, it will be even more so than it was. And the reason I'm doing that is because there's certain things that I want in my life, and I know that if I have compassion for myself and if I have compassion for the world, it's going to raise my vibration enough so that I will receive them. So that's what I've been doing. You know, am I fearful sometimes? Of course. I have a situation where someone who's very important to me in my life and who's a lifeline for me is probably going to have to be sequestered for a long period of time because of their essential portion of their job. And that's difficult, you know. I also worry. I have family members who work in certain jobs where they're very exposed. And so, yeah, you worry, you're frightened. And also, I lived through a disaster when Superstorm Sandy came through our waterfront community, and I saw the worst in people, and this is probably 20 times more serious than that, so I shudder to think what may happen. But I'm just going to stay in my high vibe. So I'm going to pick 3 cards for the virus, and then we're not going to talk about this stuff anymore. We're just going to go into high vibe tonight. So I got 3 cards for the virus. Page of Pentacles came in, this time right side up. I think it wasn't the Page of Pentacles before, it was the Page of Cups. So Page of Pentacles comes in right side up. Page of Pentacles is usually a message, the bearer of good news. The fact that he's actually, if you can see the spread, I'm going to pull these down. The fact that that the way these cards are facing each other, this the good bearer of good news is right next to this card, which is the 6 of Swords. And the 6 of Swords is usually moving away from a very emotional situation. So the fact that we have a message, good news, moving away from an emotional situation. And then the 3rd card upside down is the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is the same thing. It's moving away, it's something dissipating. It was in the reverse position, which means it may be a little bit of time. So there you have it. Okay.